Good afternoon, everybody, again. Today it's not so much about a recipe, but it's preparing for not only a recipe, but saving vegetables that may be going south on you. I have some tomatoes, cherry, and some little plum tomatoes that are getting a little bit soft. I've got scallions. Carrots are in pretty good shape, but I've got a pretty big bag. I'm gonna go ahead and use them to complete my, I don't even know what you want to call this. It's like a pico de gallo, but it's not pico de gallo. It has peppers, onions. It's whatever is in your refrigerator that is like either a root vegetable or a vegetable that you use in soup, stews, casseroles, and things of that nature. What I do when I have vegetables that seem to be going a little bit the other direction and won't be around for a couple of days, say, for instance, this piece of a pepper or this bell pepper that's getting a little bit soft, these poblanos. What I do is I just take my little chopper, my dicer, and put it on like the larger dice, because if you put it on the small dice and you're planning on using that in like a soup or something that's long cooking, it's going to disappear on you. So you want the larger dice. But what I end up doing with these is putting them in several different bags and then just throwing them in the freezer. Whenever I need any vegetables, for stir fry or like soup, stews, casseroles, like a quiche, I have it in my freezer, and I can just take out a cup full and on I go. I don't have to stop and, create a bunch of diced vegetables for that particular application or recipe. There is one thing that I'm going to see if I do need, and this you can also do as well, and that's if you don't feel like you have enough tomatoes in this conglomeration here, you can always take and drain diced tomatoes or stewed tomatoes and add that to your frozen vegetables. Freeze those along with it, and it works out just as well. So all I'm going to do, as you see, I've got the scallions, the carrots, the bell peppers, the poblanos, and I've got peppers in 3 different colors, orange, yellow, and green. And I've got a couple of onions. The onions aren't going bad, but I need them in this so that when I do a recipe, I have all the vegetables I need, with the exception of, like potatoes, corn, green beans, peas. You don't need to put that in here. However, I have put corn in this mishmash before, but I find that kind of limits me to how I can use it. So all I do is I just start cleaning it up, and then I just dice it. So let's do that. Let me get these washed and cleaned up, and then I'll show you what we're going to do from there. Okay, so I've got everything cut up to the size that I want. It took me all of like 8 minutes to do that. I even found some olives, black olives, that were in the refrigerator, so I'm going to just throw those in there as well. But I'm not going to have you sit here and watch me chop these vegetables, but I am going to show you a couple out of each one to show you how this works if you've never done this before. So, carrot, for instance. Now I'm going to put more than that on here, but you want to cut your carrots about 1 inch long to do this so that they fit on the chopper blade. And it's just, just a matter of, there we go. So let me show you. So this is about the size chop you're going to get. It's 1/4 inch. So it's a good size for like stir fries and things of that sort, like for soups or stews. Now these do come with another blade, the smaller blade. but this is really small, and it works well with your stir fries if you're going fresh. But if you're going frozen, like I'm going to be freezing these, and they're going to have to go into a longer than usual recipe, then your vegetables will have a tendency to disappear. Okay, so there's your carrot. What you doing, Andy? Okay, here's your scallion. You can put a little bit more of those on there. Get a few white parts, a few green parts. And then just do the same thing. A little bit of pressure, that's all it takes. And let me show you what those look like. About the same. If you can even see that. Everything's going to be the same size, so it's going to cook the same amount of time. Now, there's my onion that'll fit right on top of here. I'll go ahead and put another onion on there so you can see. This is such a time saver. Later on, when you're cooking recipes, you get kind of hooked on it. And it's great for like potatoes, you know, for fried potatoes or potatoes and soups and, you know, all that. And you can also freeze your potatoes. So you can do a thing of potatoes, throw it in a freezer bag and throw it in your refrigerator. Okay, tomatoes. Show you what this is. Now you can put more on this. This is just so for demonstration purposes. About the size of a tiny cherry tomato. And then we'll do a pepper and put a couple of peppers on here. Peppers freeze up so nice too. Peppers and onions. And you can do like just, you know, peppers and onions in a bag. You can do scallions in a bag, onions in a bag, tomatoes in a bag. You don't have to put them all together. But I just find I use them all, so why not? I had zucchini that I was going to put in this, but I used it yesterday in the zucchini bread. Okay, and here's your peppers. Okay. Let's do an orange one, an orange pepper. You see that a little bit better. Get an idea of what this is starting to look like. Now, I made my pico de gallo in this, which, huge time saver. Okay, let's do a bigger tomato. I'm going to cut him in half, though, because I'm afraid he'll squirt all over the place. And he's going soft, so we got to get these used up. Don't waste food if you can help it. It just costs too much. There you go. Okay, no use you hanging around and watching me do this. Let me get this chopped up. Okay, this took me, I want to say 15 minutes from the time I took it out of the refrigerator to over here to, you know, sorting, preparing it and chopping it. But I want you to see this. This is probably 1.5 gallons of vegetables, of diced vegetables, that is probably the best tasting vegetables that you could get anywhere. Not only that, but this probably represents about $25 or $30 worth of vegetables that if you didn't do this to, Andy's visiting, you would end up throwing it away. So here we go. Now, I'm going to use some of this today. I'm going to make an omelet later on. So I'm going to put some. You should mix this up a little bit better than I've done. More layered than anything. But let me put maybe this much. And I'm going to make an omelet with that later on. But you can put your vegetables in containers like this. But I found you know, I've got so much stuff in my freezer that baggies or freezer bags are so much handier to work with, and they don't take up that much room. I just take this size bag and fill it about halfway full. So let's see where that's going to take us. You just can't go wrong with this, and you can put any vegetables you want in this. And can you imagine if you went to the store and bought this, how much it would cost? The savings is just unbelievable. Plus what you've already spent. Now this time of year, well, especially with the heat that we were having all over the country, down here in Florida, it's awful. And we buy our vegetables mostly at a little farmer's market in our community. And those vegetables have been out in the heat for some time before we buy them and bring them home and put them in the refrigerator. So this is what I'm going to end up doing. I don't want to put any more than that in there. So can you see that? Just flatten it out. So your vegetables are going to go bad. Not bad, but I mean, unless you use them, yeah. They're going to go south a lot quicker in this environment, this heat, than they would in the wintertime. So this is really a lifesaver for the vegetables, and you too. But, you know, I did this even when, you know, just prep these vegetables any time of the year in any situation, because it's a time saver cooking. You just go in there, take out, you know, a cup, you know, this much. How long is that going to last? You know, look at that. That's maybe a half a cup. How many do you use? Throw these in a nice soup, a stew, a casserole, a stir fry, a pico de gallo type recipe, because all it is vegetables. You can either add to it, or you can take away from it. You don't have to put certain vegetables in here like I did. Put your own vegetables in there. I usually have zucchini to put in these. Like I said, I used the zucchini up yesterday in the zucchini bread I made. So, and that tomato, see, that tomato did squirt out on me, but wear an apron. I should have put an apron on. Okay, let's see if I can just pour the rest of this in there. Yeah. There we go. That's another tablespoon in there right there. Don't waste it. Here we go. We got 4 good-sized bags, gallon bags, out of those few vegetables. So, and I'll end up, you know, putting the date on these, because you can tell what it is. You don't have to put on there diced vegetables if you don't want to. There you have it. That will last you a month of Sundays. Okay. Okay, when I make the omelet, make a nice omelet later on this afternoon. So, I'll see you then, okay? Okay, so what I did, and I thought it was recording, but it wasn't. I'm sorry. I took our diced veggies, and I just cooked them for about 3 minutes just to soften them up. I didn't want them raw going into our omelet. But you want to keep them, and I put some spinach in here as well that I had. You want to keep those intact and a little bit on the crispy side, so that they're not just nothingness when you go to eat them. You want a little bit of bite on them. So the only seasonings I'm going to use is pepper, garlic salt, and the Badia seasoning. You can use whatever seasonings you prefer, and I'm putting it right in my egg mixture. That's about I don't know, half of a teaspoon I just put in there. And the same with the garlic. half of a teaspoon. Don't need much of that, but like I said, it's your omelet. Make it according to the way you like it. I'm just going to do like a quarter of a teaspoon of coarse ground pepper. Omelets are just so versatile. You know, you can make an omelet be as fancy or as down home as you want. Oh, and I put a tablespoon of sour cream in here as well. You can put ham in it, prosciutto, turkey. I mean, just any meat that you can think of. Cheeses. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our eggs in here. It doesn't have to come out looking fancy as long as all the ingredients are in there. You're good. I haven't made an omelet in a long time. Are you hungry, Andy? I think Andy's hungry. He's down here looking at me. Okay, there we go. I got my sink filled up. So I gotta put these eggshells on the side. Okay, let's mix this up. So, and this is going to be on, I've got this warming up too. In our omelet, there's about a quarter cup of half and half, a tablespoon roughly of sour cream, not much, and then the seasonings and 4 eggs. So this could be a meal for one person that's hungry or a meal for 2 people with maybe some fried potatoes on the side or fruit. Okay, I want to get this a little bit hot going in. Okay, let's see what that's going to do. Yeah, that's good. Get that to the side. Wipe my hands off. The egg off of it, right? What are you doing under there, Andy? Andy's under the settee. So we're going to put our veggies in there and some cheese. So let's go ahead and turn it up a little bit. What you doing under there, Andy? So you want to bring it toward the middle. I'm sure you know how to make an omelet. This is a big pan. I've got a smaller pan on order. It's going to cook a lot quicker and not be as, you know, my food's not going to be spread out all over the place. There we go, it's starting to set up now. Just pull it away from the sides a little bit. Yeah, it's extremely hot. You can't stand to go outside. I know the temperature, it's 97 degrees according to my thermostat over there. Okay, let's go ahead and get our vegetables in there, okay? Let's go ahead and plop those on top. Spread them out a little bit. Doesn't matter how, because this isn't going to be a fancy omelet. And what I'm going to do is put the lid on it and turn it up just a little bit. I want it to be a blonde omelet and not a brown one. And like I said, don't overcook your vegetables, because even though when you go to take this out and the vegetables, especially like the spinach, looks like it's not cooked, by the time you've got it folded and you take it out, the vegetables are going to be perfect, especially since you pre-cooked the diced veggies a little bit before. You want that to be, you know, a little bit on the, with a bite. Okay, let's take this off, see where we are. Let's go ahead and sprinkle some cheese on there. Personally, I don't like a lot of cheese. I do like cheese though. I'm going to put the lid back on it, and then I'm going to try to fold it in on itself. But I want that cheese just to melt just a little because this is on a very low heat. And it's, you know, it's not in my regular omelet pan. I have a 6-inch omelet pan. It's perfect. It just makes omelets great. Okay, let's see where we are with this. Oh, yeah. This will work. Yeah, this is easily a meal for 2 people. And let's fold it over. You'll see what I mean when about the omelet. About the vegetables. I love omelets. All kinds of omelets. But a vegetarian omelet is probably my favorite. Okay, let's turn the heat off. Put the lid back on until I get my plate. We'll take it out. Let's see. Put it over here. How long did that take? What, a minute? 2 minutes? Mushrooms. Be excellent in this. But don't have any mushrooms. Use what you have. Don't be afraid just to use what you have. Okay. Everything's off. Set this to the side. Just get a knife and a fork. There's your omelet. I said it's not round because I made it in a square pan. But you'll see the vegetables when I cut into this and the spinach. Actually, I'm going to pull a spinach leaf out so you can see what it looks like. There we go. That's a good way to look. See? It's perfect. Can you see that? It's like... It's good. It really is. Perfect vegetable omelet. There you go. With your diced vegetables. Easy meal. Filling meal. 2 people can eat on this. Some fruit on the side. And you've got dinner. Okay. You can put more cheese on this. You can put more seasonings on it. You can do it up just the way you like it. So we'll see you at the recap later on this afternoon. You have a good afternoon. Okay, so this brings us to the close of another recipe. Well, not much of one. It's just an omelet. I did have to change shirts. I had where I did the vegetables. That one tomato just went all over me. So when you do this, either wear an apron or cut those tomatoes in half so that they don't just squirt. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. So I have nobody to blame but myself. Yeah, this is, like I said, this isn't a recipe, but it's the beginning of a lot of recipes. Just take your time with what you want to do, plan it out, sort it out, and, you know, it's going to save you so much time. Plus, the fact that you can come in here and you can get dinner on the table in half the time, because half listen to me, the time it takes to make a recipe, to prep it before it gets on the stove and on the table, is what takes the most time, is prepping your recipe, whether it's your vegetables, boiling potatoes, or, whatever. But this will save you a ton of time. I hope you give it a try. Um, and my air conditioner also has really struggling to keep up. That it is so incredibly hot, not just here, but all over the country. So I know that whoever's watching this, Andy, you okay? Probably is having the same situation I am. That's where these shirts come in pretty handy. It's now 99 degrees on my thermostat. It went up 2 degrees since we spoke about an hour and a half ago. Okay, listen, you stay cool. Take good care of yourself. Take care of your friends, your family, and your loved ones. And please, check on your neighbors next door, especially in this heat. You take care. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and hopefully show you another recipe. Bye-bye now.